All right, so in this video on printing, I want to talk a little bit more because not all spreadsheets are nice and tiny and fit neatly onto a piece of paper. So sometimes you have to fiddle with them. And I've got one here. This is actually one I used from another class. But if I hit print preview, here you can see this spreadsheet the way it is now would print on 6 pages, and only the first and third or fourth page have labels that say what the numbers represent. So that's not the least bit convenient, but there's a lot of different things that we can do to try to make it fit. So I can do most of what I need to on the page layout ribbon. One of the things I can do right away is change the orientation to landscape. Okay, and if I hit print preview on that, now I've got down to 4 pages. That helps. Okay, but I don't know what after the first page, I don't know what those labels are, so we've got that. If I didn't want it to be take it back to landscape, if I wanted to print it in portrait, what could I do? Well, I could adjust the margins and make them narrow. Let's hit print preview now, and I'm still 6 pages, but only one of them hangs over. So then I could come up here, and it looks like most of my columns are pretty narrow. This one I think could be, nope, that's as narrow as it's going to get. So then what I can do once I've adjusted my column widths to make them as narrow as possible is I can come up here and I can tell it, force my width to go to 1 page. Okay, and by doing that, it's going to shrink everything just a little bit. Okay, and now I've got it as 1 page wide. Okay, so that works. Now I'm actually gonna undo, oops, a little too far, this back to automatic and take my scale back up to 100 because I'm going to take this one back to landscape orientation with my normal margins, and because I want to show you a couple other tricks. But again, this height and width is a very convenient way of adjusting it, but don't do it all at once. Okay, if you don't make your other adjustments like column widths first, you can shrink your spreadsheet down to where it's not readable when you print it. Okay, so we have margins we can change, we get orientation we can change, we can adjust our column widths, we can set the automatic height. Now, sometimes when you have multiple pages, you want to insert a page break. Okay, that's a very easy thing to do. You click where you want the page break to be. I'm going to use, this one happens to be sorted by store or location, so I'm going to insert the page break, and I'm going to go to break, and I'm going to insert a page break there, and I'm going to actually insert one for each store. Okay, so insert and another page break there, and I'll come down here, and again I'm clicking on the first line of the new store or new location. Okay, and there's that one there. Insert my page break. Okay, and I think that's the last one. Okay, so now if I print preview, you can see I've got each location on its own page, which is great, but I still don't know what the columns represent, so that's not convenient. Well, Excel has something to help fix that too, and it's called print titles. Print titles lets you repeat either a column on the left or a row at the top. So if I choose row to repeat at top and select row 1, okay, then what happens when I hit print preview is each page will have that row, and that's very convenient again if you're printing a large spreadsheet to be able to have that, and it could be, let's say if your spreadsheet was really wide, you might want a column at the left of each one or a row, but that's called print titles, and that's a great way to be able to see everything. So those are some tips and tricks of the page layout ribbon that lets you print a nice looking worksheet. And again, keep in mind, not all spreadsheets stay on the computer. If you want to print it, you need to know how. So this is an important skill as well.